Welcome in, guys, to the BenchWarmers podcast. I'm Noah Castor. To my right, we have Brandon Hudson, and across the table, we have my man, Darren Kinslow. Today, we're going to be discussing the AFC WildCard round, and we're just going to hop right into the first matchup, Saturday, the afternoon game, the Colts versus the Texans. I'm actually picking an upset here. I've got the Colts beating the Texans in this matchup. Now, why I say that, I believe in Andrew Luck. I feel like he's the more talented quarterback over Deshaun Watson. I feel like that offensive line is going to protect against the Texans' biggest asset, which is that pass rush. You know, Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt normally get after the quarterback. But Andrew Luck at that offensive line, they've been drafting the past couple years, including the first-round pick Quentin Nelson. I feel like they're going to be able to protect him. And I also feel like the Texans' weak point is their secondary. I feel like Andrew Luck's going to be able to dot them up. And also, the Texans really don't have an established run game. They have Lamar Miller, who's a decent running back, but he's a little banged up. The offensive line isn't really great at the Texans. Deshaun Watson leads the league in most sacks taken. And I just feel like what the Colts do well is going to be able to hinder what the Texans do well. So that's why I've got the Colts beating the Texans. Brandon, what do you think?
I got to disagree with you on this one. I got to go Texans on this one. I got the Texans winning because, yes, Demaryius Thomas is out.
What's up? Go ahead, keep going.
Yes, Demaryius Thomas is out for receivers, but they got DeAndre Hopkins. He can't really be technically guarded by anyone. He finds ways even to break out the double team. And when he gets double teamed, he still finds out a way. He's actually got 115 receptions, with no drops. That's crazy. Throughout the season he's been double teamed because people are trying to stop him, trying to break the losing streak the whole year with 9 straight wins.
Yep.
They're double teaming him, trying to stop it, trying to find ways, still not finding a way to do it.
It's impressive.
Then you got, J.J. Watt hasn't had, his all-time best season, but he's still a good player.
Yep.
He's still going to be a big factor in this one. Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to be another big one. Tyrann Mathieu, he'll be back in the backfield helping them out. Mm-hmm. So they're not looking horrible, and they've got home field advantage. That's why I think that's going to be the biggest thing right there. Home field advantage is definitely securing it. Honestly, I don't know if they can lose this one. Honestly,
I just worry about the Texans' lack of weapons. You mentioned Demaryius Thomas being out with the ACL, Kiki QT having injuries all season. I just don't know if DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson is going to be enough for them to overcome the Colts. Darren, I don't know what you think.
Yeah, this should be a really good game. The Texans are only favored by 1 point, and that's being at home too. So
they're just saying it's a toss-up.
Basically, yeah. As well with pretty much all the games in the wild card, I think it's going to be a really close game. I've got the Texans winning this one. When it comes to the Colts, I just don't know how far Andrew Luck can really take them because other than him and their offensive line, and T.Y. Hilton, there's not a ton of weapons out there. I know Marlon Mack has played pretty well as of late, but I just don't know how much I can trust Andrew Luck, and with Deshaun Watson too, it's just a toss-up really. I could see this one going either way. The Colts are really hot right now too. It's going to be tough. I think they really have to fall on Lamar Miller. They're top 10 in rushing yards this season, so not terrible, but and he's not 100% either. Yeah. So it's going to be a good game, definitely. But yeah, I've got the Texans at home. I think they should be able to get it done with the pass rush, and then like you said too, with their secondary, it's not good, and that's I do agree with you on the Colts' strengths and the Texans' weaknesses.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all really going to come down to if that Colts offensive line can keep what they've been doing all year and protecting Andrew Luck. Because if the Texans do get to Andrew Luck maybe 3 or 4 times, I do see the Texans winning this. I just know that the Colts offensive line is arguably one of the best in football, which is crazy. 2 years ago, it was one of the worst in football. Andrew Luck kept getting injured. But now, drafting so many players, they're one of the best. And I feel like it's really going to just hinder the ability of the Texans to really get to the quarterback.
Yeah, because that's their really only strength on defense. That and their rushing defense.
The only one protecting any of the passes is Tyrann Mathieu, and he's a hell of a player, but the corners I don't see it. There's only so much a safety can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's all I have on that matchup. Brandon, I don't know if you have anything else.
I do have one thing. I definitely think if Lamar Miller isn't as like full to health as he is, I think Deshaun Watson also is right there too, because he can also turn himself into a running back and run down the field. So I mean, he doesn't find a receiver he wants, he's gonna take off.
That is one edge that Deshaun Watson has, because Andrew Luck is not a mobile quarterback, and Deshaun Watson can definitely make things happen outside the pocket.
And I'm actually kind of looking at something right now. I'm not. It says NFL teams. So yeah, I think Houston right now is in top 10 of stopping the rush too. So I mean,
they're third.
They're
in rushing
third.
yards.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's
They're tied for fourth in points.
I didn't want to make sure,
too,
but I'm pretty
It
sure I'm
all
looking at
comes down
something
to
right
that front seven. It's just that's not what I'm worried about for the Texans. It's the other guys.
Secondary,
the secondary. I just
and
get
the
worried.
banged up offense.
Yeah.
I think overall though, they're not like all offense or all defense. I think they're probably one of the best all around teams in the playoffs.
If
right
the
now.
Texans were fully healthy, this would be no question. The Texans are winning this. But since the Texans are really banged up and the Colts are basically fully healthy, it's going to be close. It's going to be a tough one. All right, moving into the next matchup, we got the Chargers and Ravens. They play on Sunday. So this is another interesting matchup, really close. Darren, what are the odds on this? Do you know?
The Baltimore is favored by 2.5.
2.5.
They are the home team, so usually the home team gets about 3 points just because they're home. But yeah, this is going to be another toss-up game. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ravens, Chargers with that prolific offense, Ravens with that just amazing defense. It's really just like they really just hinder what the other team can do. I've got the Ravens winning this one. I trust in that Ravens defense being able to take the ball away from Phillip Rivers. And I just feel like the Ravens have just able to do a little bit more on offense, being that the Chargers defense isn't as good as the Ravens defense. So I got the Ravens winning this one. Brandon, what do you think?
I got the Ravens too. I got the Ravens winning this one because I just looked it up and they are fourth in stopping the run. And this one actually is a big factor in it because they have Melvin Gordon, and I believe Melvin Gordon is playing in this game.
Yes, he is.
So they have the ability to stop Melvin Gordon. I mean, it's basically come down to who's going to play better on offense is what I feel like it's going to end up coming down to, because they both do have pretty good defenses. Mm-hmm. I will say Baltimore does probably have the better defense in this one, definitely, because I mean they've showed what they can do, and I mean the way Lamar Jackson's playing right now, I mean it's like he was meant to play in the NFL.
Yeah,
like he's ready for this. Like I say watch out for the Ravens in this whole playoffs.
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of people sleep on the Ravens, but they can be real dangerous.
Yep.
I think the one way the Ravens do win this, they're going to have to take the ball away. I don't think they're going to be able to win a game without getting any takeaways from that Chargers offense. So I think that's the way they win that. Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I just don't know how, because there's no telling how Lamar Jackson's going to play. It's his first ever playoff game. This one's close for me too, because I'm stuck in between who I want to win because my team's in the playoffs, so it's kind of hard. But I think I have to go Ravens on this one at home. The Chargers, they haven't played extremely well these past few games, but their defense, the Ravens' defense, best in the playoffs, the entire NFL. First in total yards, second in total points. And then their offense is just so dynamic with the run game. Whether it's the running back or it's Lamar Jackson, that's how they're going to win games. But at some point, Lamar Jackson's going to have to make some good throws. And they're 22nd in passing yards. So I think it's going to be another close game, and I think that's how the entire playoffs is going to go throughout the whole way through. I don't think there's going to be any big blowout games. So I've got the Ravens in a really close game.
I definitely think it's going to be a good game. This one I kind of think can go either way. I mean, they're both good teams. I could see the Chargers winning this one only because Phillip Rivers has had experience. It may not be a lot of experience. I don't know how many times he's made in the playoffs in his career.
He just hasn't played well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's been there, he just hasn't played well.
Yeah, but I mean, he still has that experience.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Lamar Jackson coming in just this year, going to playoffs. Let's see how he plays. But this could definitely end up being a big game. Like, this is definitely going to be one that I have to watch, like, no matter what.
I think it's going to come down to the Chargers are going to have to decide, like, we're not going to let Lamar Jackson beat us with his legs. So what Lamar Jackson's going to do inside the pocket, throwing the football.
Make him throw the ball,
I think that's what's going to decide the game. If Lamar Jackson can make a couple key throws from inside the pocket, which we've seen him do, I think the Ravens have a really good chance. But if the Chargers just let Lamar Jackson run all over him, it's not
They're not
going
going to have a chance because then Baltimore's defense is going to come out.
Amazing. They're going to be so pumped up after that win against the Browns. It's going to definitely be a tough one for the Chargers.
Definitely.
Yep. So that's all I have on that matchup. Brandon,
I got one more thing.
One more thing? All right.
I do agree with you on that. I'm banking off what you just said. If the Chargers do stop the Lamar Jackson from running the ball, I think, and that's throughout most of the whole game, like at least 2 quarters. If they do it throughout 2 quarters, I think Chargers will end up winning this one, only because Lamar Jackson is solely relying on if he can't find anyone open, he's running the ball. So if you stop that running the ball thing and you keep all your players on the guys, then you're good. You're good. I think they could have a chance.
Definitely. The Ravens' offensive line just creates so many opportunities for their running back, Gus Edwards, and Lamar Jackson. It's going to be huge to keep contain on the edge and stay home, just making sure Lamar Jackson or Gus Edwards doesn't cut back and just create these big runs that really give the Ravens' offense some momentum.
Yeah, the Chargers defense is good. They're another one of those teams where they're pretty much all around good.
Yeah.
And Melvin Gordon, too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be good. That Ravens defense is going to have to lock up Melvin Gordon because if they don't, then they're just going to run all over him. It's not going to be much of a game. So that's all I have on that matchup.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, that wraps up the AFC wildcard round. So we're going to be coming out with the next NFC wildcard round right after we post this video. So this has been the BenchWarmers, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Go Texans.